Welcome to the Archive Network. I'm Aurelius, and with me, as always, Malik. We curate the Civilization Archive. Today we open a new file, Jaunpur Sultanate. Malik, you've had this one on your desk for a while. In the late 14th century, northern India was in turmoil. Political upheaval swept through the region, shaking the very foundations of power. The Delhi Sultanate's grip weakened, creating a vacuum ripe for the rise of new forces. This was a time of uncertainty, and yet a storm was brewing, one that would give birth to the Jaunpur Sultanate.
Aurelius, you paint a grand picture of upheaval. But let's not forget the human cost. Behind those political shifts were countless lives thrown into chaos by Timur's invasion. Cities turned to ashes, and families found themselves uprooted, struggling to survive. Yet, in that turmoil, some local leaders saw a chance to reshape power dynamics and carve out new paths for their people. It's a reminder that every conflict has real faces and stories behind it.
True, the personal toll was immense, but history often reveals that empires rise from such chaos. The Delhi Sultanate, once a formidable power, was crumbling under its own weight. In the midst of this disorder, figures like Malik Sarwar emerged, ready to seize control. This was no mere power grab. It was a calculated move to establish the Jaunpur Sultanate. We see this dynamic play out repeatedly, where opportunists thrive as larger entities falter. It's a pattern that shapes our understanding of power.
Seizing control is one way to describe it. But we have to think about the context here. Sarwar wasn't just some power-hungry figure. He was a former eunuch, navigating a world where social status was always shifting. His rise isn't just a story of ambition. It's a reflection of the complexities of identity in a society that often fractures. It shows us how personal struggles can intertwine with the larger forces at play, affecting real lives along the way.
A valid point. Sarwar's background really did provide him with unique insights. Establishing Jaunpur as the capital wasn't just an arbitrary decision. It was a stroke of strategic brilliance. The city, surrounded by water, became a natural fortress. This wasn't merely about building walls. It was about laying the groundwork for a new realm. By choosing such a location, Sarwar ensured that the heart of his empire was secure, allowing it to thrive and expand in ways others could only dream of.
But let's not romanticize his strategies. Sure, he built impressive defenses, but he was also juggling immediate threats from rival claimants. These conflicts were more than just military clashes. They dug deep into the core of administrative power. Sarwar's decisions stirred up a lot of unrest among landholders. Many felt their livelihoods were at risk with his new systems. It's important to remember that these weren't just political moves. They impacted real lives and families.
Conflict was inevitable in such a shifting landscape. Sarwar's imposition of new taxation and land policies disrupted the old order. But sometimes upheaval is a necessary part of progress. We must remember that he was crafting a new governance structure, one that would support the burgeoning Jaunpur Sultanate. It wasn't just about disruption. It was about laying the groundwork for stability. Change can be painful, but without it, empires stagnate and risk losing everything they've built.
Necessary for whom? The local elites weren't just facing a few inconveniences. They were being pushed to the brink of desperation. Sarwar's reforms really shook things up and upset the traditional power dynamics they relied on. Those petitions from landholders were far more than mere complaints. They were urgent cries of alarm. They were terrified of losing their status and identity in a world that was changing so fast. This was a deeply personal struggle for so many.
You raise an important issue. The bureaucracy of the Sultanate was a blend of Persian and local systems, a necessary marriage for effective governance in such a diverse landscape. Sarwar's skill in adapting these practices was crucial. He didn't just impose order. He wove together the various communities within his realm. By embracing different traditions, he created a sense of unity. It's a reminder that empires thrive on flexibility, and the ability to harmonize differing voices into one cohesive narrative.
But this blending of cultures wasn't without its challenges. Persianate scribes and Hindu accountants found themselves working side by side, but they had to navigate some significant differences. Their collaboration shows a kind of pragmatic tolerance, sure, but it also highlights the cracks beneath the surface. Unity in diversity is often fragile, and you can see it in the way people interacted. Each person had their own story, their own struggles. It's a reminder that harmony can come with a cost.
Absolutely. The emergence of a shared identity from these interactions was remarkable. We see this through inscriptions in Arabic and Sanskritized Persian, which clearly illustrate the coexistence of diverse cultures. By the end of the 14th century, Jaunpur had not only established itself as a formidable regional power, but had also cultivated its own distinct character, blending traditions and influences in a way that reflected its unique position in the tapestry of history. This is how legacies are built.
And yet, we must remember this was just the beginning. The true fabric of the Jaunpur Sultanate will be woven through the lives of its people. Their stories, hopes, and traditions will define its legacy. As we dive deeper, we'll uncover how their creativity in art and the rhythms of daily life shape this new realm. Each individual adds a thread to the tapestry, and it's those personal journeys that bring history alive, showing us the human cost behind the grand narratives.
The foundations laid by Sarwar and his contemporaries would influence generations to come, shaping the core of the Jaunpur Sultanate. Born from chaos, it was a realm marked by ambition and conflict, yet destined for greatness. This intricate web of events is what makes its history so compelling. As we peel back the layers, we'll uncover the motivations and decisions that drove these leaders. Understanding these nuances will undoubtedly enrich our exploration as we delve deeper into this remarkable era.
That's where we leave it for now. Part 1 of 5. Jaunpur Sultanate is far from done. If you're new here, we're Aurelius and Malik, curators of the Civilization Archive, part of the Archive Network. Part 2 drops soon.